Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Angelica and I am a relationship coach in Burlington, Ontario, but you can work with me from all over the world. Let's jump right into our new topic. What do you think is the most romantic thing we can do in a relationship? What do we do for our partner or spouse that makes them feel truly loved? I won't keep you waiting for the answer. It is connecting through expressing empathy. But it's not always easy to verbally give emotional support. Many people struggle with finding the right words to acknowledge the other person's experience and validate their feelings. In this video, I will share about the 3 types of empathy and give you a selection of phrases that you can customize and use to express empathy. Picture the scene. He asks, "How was your day?" And she says, "Not good at all. I had a tough day. In fact, I had a really awful week. I have been worried about my sister's mental health challenges for a while. I had a conflict with my boss today. And then this morning, when the vacuum cleaner broke, I was ready to start crying because I've been under so much stress." If you were to continue writing this dialogue, what would you have him say first and then next? As human beings, we're wired for connection and belonging. We all need to feel accepted. That requires that we feel seen and understood by others, especially by those loved ones, those people close to us. But how can the man in this example make his spouse feel seen and understood? The first prerequisite is to listen to her experience and her feelings with open curiosity. So he could invite her to share more if she isn't already by asking open-ended questions. Something like, "Oh no, what happened? Do you want to talk about it? That sounds like a stressful week. Tell me about it." When we look at the 3 things the female partner brings up, there's only one thing that might call for fixing. The other 2 problems require a completely different skill set, and that is expressing empathy. Regarding the broken vacuum cleaner, he could ask if she wants help fixing it. She might or she might not. He might also be tempted to comment on what the sister should do regarding her mental health issues, or what his partner should do to solve the conflict with her boss. If you are the listener, refrain from making those comments unless your partner explicitly asks for advice. This woman in our example is a capable grown-up who can be trusted to solve her own conflicts. Advice the other person hasn't asked for can come across as patronizing and will make the other person feel more alone instead of more loved. His only job in this situation is to acknowledge her feelings, not to fix or give advice. In a moment, I will give you some phrases that you can play around with, try out to express empathy. Let's first take a quick look at the 3 types of empathy. There's cognitive empathy, and that's our ability to understand somebody's take on the world. How do they see the world? How do they see themselves and other people? The second part of empathy or type of empathy is emotional empathy. And that means we are resonating with the other person's feelings. We recognize their feelings, we can name them, and we can relate because we remember times in our life where we had those feelings, or at least similar feelings. And number 3 is the compassionate empathy, also called empathetic concern. And that means letting the other person know they are not alone. We feel touched by the other person's joys and we want to celebrate with them, or touched by their pains and we want to be there for them because they're struggling. So when we're listening to our partner with empathy, we need to be curious about how our partner sees the world, what emotions they are experiencing, and we can also let them know that we are by their side. We're going through an experience together. When couples are stuck in giving unwanted advice that can come across as criticism, or wanting to fix problems for their partner that don't need fixing, they often ask me, what can we say to each other to simply show empathy? Here are some statements or questions to express interest, empathy, or care. This list is by no means complete. And please also take these phrases and customize them to the situation or use them as an inspiration to put something in your own words. When you use a new phrase, watch carefully how it lands with your spouse or partner and then tweak it next time. Your tone is also part of expressing true empathy. Of course, these statements said without an empathetic, compassionate tone will not land. All right, so what could this man in our example say? He could say, "Oh, honey, you really had a stressful week. I get why you felt like crying. And if something like this feels too demonstrative, too lovey-dovey, because maybe you don't use tender nicknames with your partner, or it just doesn't fit your vocabulary, simplify it. Say something like, wow, this really sucks, or your day really sucked." Saying, "I'm sorry," can come across as really supportive. So say something like, "I'm sorry to hear you had such a stressful week," or "I'm sorry you feel stressed and overwhelmed. I'm here for you." Or "I'm sorry you're struggling with your sister's situation and having to deal with your boss." I already sneaked another little comment into this that really shows your partner that you're feeling with them and that you're there. That piece of compassionate empathy. And that is, "I am here for you," or "I'm here to listen. Tell me more about this." Then acknowledge the feeling itself. Say something like, "I can imagine how challenging it must be to see your sister struggle." Or "I understand why the situation with your boss is stressing you out. I had a similar situation at work." But then do not go into your own experience, because that would lead to you hijacking the conversation to your own stuff. This is about your partner. You can say something like, "It must be difficult, it must be frustrating to deal with your boss." Or "It must be exhausting and really worrisome to watch your sister go through what she's going through without being able to help." Or I imagine you feel exhausted, overwhelmed, frustrated, worried, upset, disappointed, whatever it is that you've noticed the other person is feeling. And then your partner can give you feedback whether you've got it right or whether it's not quite what they're feeling and experiencing. When it comes to practical things like this vacuum cleaner, he could say something like, "Let me know if you would like my help with the vacuum cleaner. I would be happy to fix it, or I would be happy to take it in for repairs." If you found this information helpful, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel for more relationship tips. If you're interested in improving your connection with your partner, you can reach out for a free Zoom consultation for either individual sessions or sessions together as a couple. Thank you for watching today's video. See you next time.